back to the channel, everyone. So today we're taking out the Zontes GK350, which is quite a new bike actually in the Zontes lineup. On the face of it, it's a 40 horsepower single cylinder street bike. What sets it apart is some of the technology that you get equipped on the bike. And bear in mind, before I continue the video, I'll tell you that the bike actually costs £4,500. It's a very entry-level price point, but some of the features on the bike actually kind of belie its otherwise low price. So I'm just going to move the camera around. I'll just show you some of the tech which actually comes on this little bike. Okay, so the first thing the bike has is keyless ignition. So you have this little fob here, fully weatherproof little fob. So you just put that in your pocket. Oh, and if the fob leaves 1.5 meters away, which I was just moving it then, you won't be able to use the bike. So you don't really need the key on this bike. You just use this little handy fob, which means it can stay in your pocket. You don't have to have the whole faff of getting the key out of your pocket or the rucksack. And then if I want to engage a steering lock, obviously I just hold this button down to turn the bike off, beeps, automatically locks for you. So now the bike's secure. So imagine in an urban environment, that would be a really nice feature to have. Okay, so now we're getting a close-up of the bike's TFT. So it's a really, in its own right, it's quite a nice TFT. It's nice and clear and crisp and all the rest of it. But it does have some trick features. You have an app called Carbit. And what you do is you press a few buttons on the screen, brings up a QR code, and then you can go ahead and activate the app. Okay, so when you activate it through the menu, you get a nice fully functioning satellite navigation system right there in front of you on the bike. So that's really nice. And you program it in through your phone, and then you'll see the directions and the route laid out for you actually on the bike screen. But you can also do mirroring projections. This is a really nice feature. So let's press mirroring projection. And I can then use any of these applications. Let's, for example, go to YouTube. We can see if I rotate the phone there, that the exact image on here is replicated on the motorcycle screen, which is actually amazing, isn't it, for a bike that costs £4,500. So let's click on a video, just see if this works. Yeah, we're actually test riding CLX 700 Sport. How amazing is that? CF Moto. And I'm actually, so you can actually see that on the motorcycle screen. There's also a button on the handlebars which pops the fuel cap open. And the seat. Okay, there's another cool feature which comes with the bike as standard. And if I just pull this little panel off, which is held on by plastic rivets and rubber bungs, you actually get a top-up charger or battery cycler, which allows you to plug this bike into the wall. This small plug here plugs into the port on the side of the motorcycle, and it will keep the battery in optimum health and fully charged for you. All right, well, I'll just get on the bike and show you what it looks like. I'm 5'11" with a 32-inch inside leg, and I'm able to flat foot the bike, which is quite nice. Bars are within easy reach, and the bike doesn't feel that cumbersome or heavy to move around. Obviously, it's only 188 kilos. There's a few other nice features on the Zontes. You've got these what they call cool touch exhaust tips, which apparently even when the bike's running you're able to contact and not burn yourself. Not sure I'd want to try that one out though. Obviously, I mentioned before, you've got the adjustability in these levers here, in the brake and the gear lever. Crash bungs are standard, which is quite nice. So even though the bike's lightweight, if you were to drop it, you're not going to do too much damage. And the same here with the guards here, lever guards. So if you do drop the bike, you're not going to snap the levers, just a case of replacing these. I mean, stylistically it's nice as well, because you've got this big single seat, it's got the spoke wheels and bar end mirrors, which are quite a nice addition. You've got LED lights all round. And finally, they do actually supply quite a comprehensive user manual. I mean, my own bike has a manual that is probably equivalent to a couple of pages in this, and the detail that it goes into. And of course, with that, you also get a 2-year warranty on the Zontes. Right guys, that was a bit of a walk round of the bike. I'm going to take the bike out now, and I'll let you know what I think about it out on the road. Right, welcome back guys. I'm back on board the Zontes, and I've done something a little bit different for today's review. I've come into the city, I've come into Worcester city centre. I think some of the features on this bike, like the navigation that's built in, like the crash protection on the levers, the frame, and the screen with navigation, the small stature and proportions of the bike, the small displacement as well. All this stuff makes this bike quite good for city use, or it might be a bike that's marketed at the urban environment. So I thought, let's bring in some traffic and see how it is to ride. So what we're looking for, needs to be easy to maneuver, it needs to be kind of flickable and easy to sort of dive in and out of traffic, it needs to have enough power to enable you to nip past vehicles. So that's third. I can just blip up here like so. It's nice and lightweight. Let's get in a second. So I can make traffic lights and that kind of thing. Kid wanted me to blip it. And yeah, we're looking for throttle to be smooth as well. So we don't really want to be going 0 to 5, 10, 15 miles an hour on a jerky throttle, because that will ruin the experience. And so far, I can report that things are going well for the little Zontes. Some big boy bikers up ahead. I can hear from the sound of the engine that it's more substantial than 350cc's. But yeah, when I'm on and off the throttle, it's nice and smooth, which is quite nice. Screen's nice and easy to read, so I've got a speed camera there. I'm doing 27 miles an hour. So no worries, nice and clear, easy to read everything there. Now the gear change is kind of nice and slick. It's really easy. The clutch is nice and light. And if you think you're going to be going up and down through the gears a lot, you really want it to be easy. So let's drop the indicator on. Yeah, nice and easy, you can feel everything. Unlike the CF Moto that I felt you couldn't really get that much tactile response from the button, this is nice and easy to know. And also because you've got TFT, you know, they can make that flashing symbol as big or as small as they want. It's quite clear and easy to see. 2 Triumph Tridents out there. And there's a Royal Enfield Meteor 350. Brings me on to an interesting point actually, that 350 going past there. Because this bike also has 350cc's, but it's putting out 39 horsepower. The Meteor, which I also owned, has 350cc's but puts out 20.1 horsepower. So what's happening, what seems to be a trend with the Chinese manufacturers, is that they seem to be able to get a heck of a lot of power out of the same displacement. I'm in second now, but it's not slow. It's not slow at all. You've got a couple of modes on the bike as well, and you might think it's silly to have riding modes on a 350, but you've got sport and you've got eco. Probably just whack it in eco most of the time, but if you just tap that, you'll see it's in eco now. And if you were to go above 7,000 RPM, it automatically drops into sport. Try a turn in the road here. So I'm in first gear. Look at that. See, this little bike, I'll tell you, it's made for a purpose and it fulfills that requirement. Okay guys, well I just finished the ride on the Zontes and it's a great fun little bike to ride. We took it in the urban environment, took it into the city just to see how it performed, the smoothness of the throttle response, the clutch is nice and light, everything is just easy and kind of malleable. A silly word, but it kind of makes sense. The controls are really easy to get used to, nice and tactile, everything just kind of worked on it. Then out into the countryside, took it for a little bit of a blast, really tried to exploit the full 40 horsepower, 39 horsepower of the engine, and it's got enough power to have fun on, and that sounds silly out of a 350, but it really does give you enough oomph. The ride is comfortable, nice big seat on there so you can sort of shuffle backwards and forwards, and yeah, brakes and suspension, okay, they're not sort of class world leading, but they do enough to get the job done. And yeah, it just all comes together as quite a nice package really. If you were to take home 2 things from this video, I'd probably say number 1 is the power output of the bike is quite remarkable actually. From a 350cc single, it's a smooth power as well, which is surprising because singles are known for being a little bit vibey, a bit more rough than a twin or a triple. So it's an amazing power output, and that you almost get with the Chinese manufacturers, you get a lot of power for the pound. And if you were to do an equation, this bike would be quite high up there really. £4,500 and you've got 40 horsepower and it just feels punchy out on the road. The other thing to take home from this motorcycle is the technology. Whether it's the pop-up fuel cap, the steering lock that locks automatically, the TFT on there. I actually saw my own YouTube channel, Mindful Motorcyclist, on the screen of a motorcycle, which kind of blew my mind a little bit. That was nice, really nice to see, especially on a bike at this price point. It's amazing really, the tech that's available now. I can confirm that you can touch these exhaust tips and you won't melt the skin on your hand. Alright guys, well thanks for watching the video. Let me just say thanks to Midwest Moto for lending me the bike today. They are destination dealerships. If you go in there, it's a cool place to be. They'll serve you like drinks and food and stuff like that. You can buy apparel, but there's also heritage motorcycle brands on offer like the BSA, Fantech, Indian Motorcycle, for example. And yeah, it's just a nice, I've just had a nice day. Alright guys, well thank you to you as well for watching the video. Appreciate it. If you did like it, please do hit the like button, helps me with the algorithm. And also do write in the comments if you've got any questions and I'll do my best to answer them, specifically about this bike.